Time for me to get my fanboy on. We have our first guest of the night. We have Stephanie Bruno on the line. And how are you going, Stephanie? It's great to have you with us.
Hi, Monte. Thank you. Finally, our voices meet.
Well, yes, we do. That's exactly... for the audience, just to let them know, when I first started Uncharted Wednesday nights, I stumbled across the song that we're going to play last, Primal, by Stephanie. Should I call you Stephanie or Sirena?
Sirena. I was singing, I go by Sirena.
Okay,
yeah.
by Sirena. So, by Sirena, and I instantly fell in love with it. And I was sort of like, oh, this is brilliant. I really like this. And I've sort of been, for the whole year, I tossed up, do it, or will I fanboy too hard if I have Sirena on the line? And finally, I have Sirena on the line. So, guys, if you can't get a word in edgewise, that's the reason why.
How flattering. Thank you, Monty. No, it's lovely to be on. And before I forget to say to the end of it, I have to thank you for having... There's so many talented and passionate indie artists out there who just don't have the platform to get their music heard. So I know how much work you put into, having your artists heard and having ears fall on the music. So I'm very grateful for what you do.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah, that's making me blush now. Sirena, if you could you just tell my audience yourself before we get right into the interview, please?
Sure. So, yeah, I'm from Sydney. I'm in Cronulla. I'm here right now, actually. And I've been singing since I was very, very little. I started as a dancer, and I used to have a little ballet studio, and I used to go out there to practice dancing and always turn the tape off and start singing because that's where my heart always lies. In about 2009, I started recording my own music with some co-writers and producers and singing in local clubs, and, yeah, kind of where I'm at.
Wow. So yeah, I read on the little profile that you had on there, you've been dancing and that since you're about 3, haven't you?
Yeah. Dancing was first, which I still do. It's just different. I wouldn't say one's over the other, but music is where your heart goes to. If you've had a really bad day, music makes you feel that it's had a really great day, you want to sing as well. So yeah, it's where my heart lies, I guess.
You know what? Maybe that's my problem. Like I've had some awesome days in the last week. I'm sitting on the train going home in Sydney, or going back to where I'm staying in Sydney. And it's like I'm bursting, and maybe I need to learn to sing. Although maybe the people.
Honestly, it is. It's like exercise. It's something that gets everything out of your system. So if you're bottling something up, when I come home and just close the door and have a sing, oh my God, I feel better. And I had a singing teacher when I used to go to a school when I was much younger, and I had like a fight with a boyfriend or something. I'd go in and sing so well, and she's like, oh my God, you have to have fights before you come into class, and there's something very expressive about it. So it's not rehearsed. It's really raw and it's really real.
So realistically, it's as an artist, you must suffer for your art.
I have a friend of mine says, she goes, what if I have a really bad day and a really emotional day? She goes, yes, all artists, you're like Amy Winehouse. You're just so emotional. And I said, I don't know if it's because I'm Italian and I'm passionate, or if I'm a singer, or if it's just everything. But, yeah, that's when the good music comes out, when you're really in an emotional turmoil stage.
Wow.
I used to have this theory with a lot of my favourite artists when they'd get married or have kids and be very content with their life, their music started to suck. Sometimes, but it depends on the stage of life that you're in, but I've always preferred the sort of tortured artist music like Tori Amos, expressive.
Mm. Yeah, I get that. And it's interesting you say that, because there is actually a lot of artists that I've talked to over the 18 months that we've been doing the show, that they say that, the songs come from a bad place. Like, I was in a bad place, but it sounds amazing. And it's usually, but it's even ones that are like really and that sort of stuff.
Yes,
but it
doesn't mean it has to be a sad song or a negative undertone. It can just be, it comes from something deep. But it's funny, like you were saying before we got on air about my songs, they're quite progressive in nature, in that, like, I've gone, you can probably piece together my life a little bit by the songs if you play them. I've grown so much. So they're very different. The last few songs are more about strength in myself and finding things, whereas the first few are a bit angrier. Because there was something I had to deal with, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic. You know what? That is the perfect lead into our first song, I think.
Definitely.
So our first song that we're going to hear tonight is Commander, and when we come back we'll find out more about Sirena, where Commander came from, and her journey in the music industry. This is Uncharted Wednesday nights on the special night of Friday night. This is Sirena and Commander.
commander. Don't wanna slow it down, don't wanna drop the bass. Come on and make me shiver, come on. Temperature rise and my body aches for you. I'm gonna get you now, 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 now. The monster's in control. The monster's in control. The monster's in control. The monster's in control.
That's me getting busted typing stuff on Facebook. People are making a great. They're loving your music already, Sirena.
Wonderful.
I've got Mitchell, who's who's already part of the hashtag Monte Famous family, and has been a co-host previously. Who's already put in and said it's a damn great song. So
Oh, how lovely. Thank you, Mitchell.
he's loving it. So tell us about Commander. Where did that come from?
That was recorded a few years ago with a really awesome producer. He's very progressive. He was very Timberland actually when we first started. His name is Tawesta Tofa. And for local Sydney people, there's a singing school called Sebcon at Blakehurst, and that's where he records out of. And it was so as I was saying, it was very like finding strength. As most artists say, their song, the sentiment behind it is not always as obvious as the lyrics. So the lyrics come off as very kind of sexual and S&M, but it's not so much about that. It's more about female empowerment and
Yep.
finding voice, like literally a voice, because I was sort of in a place and in a relationship where I was very not myself, not able to be who I was. So
Yep.
this was, you could see tell there's a little bit of underlying anger or resentment in the vocals and in the lyrics, but that's why I like it. It's kind of passionate. So yes, it's more, I would refer to it as a female empowerment song.
You can certainly pick that up. Even the melody and is angry.
Yeah.
It's
It is,
you can tell
yeah.
it's an angry song.
Yeah. And I feel like I used to do a lot of songs like that, but I feel like a lot of songs around that time are like that too, when Lady Gaga first came out, or Pink, and now I find, I don't know if it's, I'm in a different stage of life and not noticing it as much, but I don't feel like there is a lot of anger. I feel like everyone's kind of progressed a little bit.
Maybe you're going through what I'm going through, which is hold tight and pretend it's the plan, no matter what's going on.
Maybe.
Like this was the plan. I'll pretend it's the plan. This'll do.
I think I've just gotten into meditation and gotten a little too spiritual and into gratitude that I've forgotten my anger.
When did you actually decide? You know what? I still love dancing, but I want to write music. When did you start to do that?
Oh, I was very little. I remember being in school and saying that to my mum, and she's like, "Okay, what do you want to sing?" And I remember saying, John Bon Jovi's "Always" was out at the time. It was 94, I think, 94. And yeah, I used to just go into the garage and sing and sing and sing. The first thing I ever performed. Do you remember the movie Beaches?
Yeah. Oh God. Yes.
Do you remember?
Wind Beneath My Wings.
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Nothing corny like that. No, the first song I ever performed was "You Gotta Give a Little." Remember that song?
Yes.
What's her face's character? Mae and Bielik played it. The redhead one. Bette Midler's character as a child. She sang out in a little hot pink costume, and I remember going and singing that all the time, and I ended up performing that as the first song. But yeah, no, I was very little, but I didn't. Learning to write music didn't come as easily to me as it did to my brother, as I was just saying. He writes. So because I was always a performer, that was my favourite part. I struggled finding the writing. So it's when I got together with producers and jumped to the studio and we'd talk about what I was feeling, and then we'd throw things on paper. So it'd be like the sentiment of the song first, maybe a few lyrics, but mainly come up with the music first and then throw the lyrics together with it. But yeah, so 2009 and recording.
Would you say when you start recording that having a relationship, like a good communication relationship with your producer is vital?
It is key. It is like a romantic relationship. If the chemistry is not there, the product doesn't have. It doesn't deliver the product. Real chemistry. Like, I'm super proud of everything I've come up with. They're all very different. So I've had a few really dance tracks. One very, very bubblegum pop track, because that's what I asked for. I fell in love writing with Keith. That's Tawesta Tofa. That was beautiful music, because that was the first time I started writing. We did a lot of, we have a lot of tracks that weren't even recorded. I even had a cassette tape back then. But the last two I've done, Your Kingdom and Primal, with Philippe Marc Anquetil. He's an amazing producer. He's worked with Tiny Temper and I think it was Little Mix or someone. But he's so amazing. But he always says, okay, let's go have coffee first and we'll sit and talk. And we just really hit it off.
That's really good. Like it makes the relationship, much better, and it brings it in with like working together.
It does. But it's like a romantic relationship. If it's not there, you can't create it.
Yeah.
Like either you bounce off each other or you don't. It's not that one person's wrong or one person's not creative.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the ideas with each other, we just bounced off each other. So I'm most proud of my last two songs.
Yeah, and look, I can imagine what you're describing there is, like, I've never been involved in that kind of thing, but what you're describing there of it being a romantic relationship, that, well, what the producer's done where he's taken you first would help him understand, well, this is, I understand where you're trying to go, and I understand what your journey's been.
Yeah.
Let's see how I can support you in doing that, like any good romantic partner should.
Yeah, what a gentleman.
But it is that. This is a single man that's in the room, but anyhow.
But he would write differently with each artist, so it wasn't until he saw a bit of who I was as a person that we were able to write in a certain way and get to the nitty-gritty. But yeah, he's wonderful. Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, I tell you what, again, great lead into our second song tonight. This is Your Kingdom by Sirena, and we come back, we'll find out more about that.
That was Your Kingdom by Sirena. I got to say, talk about contrasts in sound from Commander to Kingdom.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? It's a quality track. I get very emotional when I listen to that. I don't listen to my music. I have it on my iPod, and when it comes on in the gym, I always skip it because you feel weird listening to your own music. Whenever I hear Your Kingdom, it's very emotional. That song means a lot to me. Writing that was like a big fork in the road for me, and I just love it.
What was the fork?
That was, I would say, this song is the absolute crossing over from the young, wide-eyed, not quite sure where my footing, completely becoming myself again. You know, like, not even myself again, finding my true nature for the very first time, I would say. And I think that's why I had the most input in this song out of all my other songs. I definitely went in knowing exactly what I wanted, exactly how I wanted it to sound, and I never get sick of hearing it. I feel every time I hear it, I get over. And that was the song I did the main, very big budget, beautiful music video for.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of people, when I've done radio interviews, a lot of people ask me, "Oh, what's the highlight of the career? What's the?" And I'm always saying, "Oh, the performances," you know, because you get on such a high after that. But honestly, it was the 2 days shooting that film clip was like into Fantasyland. That was the best part of my career.
Yeah, I can understand how that would be, and I can imagine performing that. Like have it.
It's good to perform.
Yeah, like if you've already got that connection to that song.
Yeah.
To perform that live, it must be something that it must gear, does it?
It does. That song the most, and my other favourite song to sing is a song called Stupid Boy. I'll have to send you a copy of that so you can play it on your show one day. But
Absolutely.
both the songs where I feel very, very ballsy. You know, like they're vocally strong and the sentiment of the lyrics is really strong. But I remember, like, I drive past on my way to work where I go to Kingdom. It was before I joined the gym near my work, and I would go for walks on my lunch break and think about what my next song would be. And I remember, like, I came up with the concept first. I thought, what was strong? And I was thinking about a lion in the wild, and I was trying to play around with that. And when I came up with Your Kingdom, I was like, that's it. Then I would start writing the lyrics, and then I'd run back to get to work and would write the lyrics down. And just, like, how it started is this little thought in my head and then turned into this song that I'm so proud of, and a music video that had a lot of good production in it. So, yeah, it's definitely my favourite.
Well, it's one of mine. And as you said, there is a progression. There is a story being playing. And I want to save it, and I want to hear the story. I want to see if these guys can pick it up as well before we get to Primal. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But Angus, you wanted to ask a question. Angus has a question.
Angus!
Hi.
Talk to me, Angus.
I want to jump back a bit.
Sure.
So when the whole producer relationship thing,
Yes.
when you first go and spoke to them, did you already have like the idea for the song that you
Always.
wanted to write? Always.
I think it would be very sloppy to go to a producer you're paying a lot of money for and not have a very clear-cut concept of what you want. And that's, I think, why the producer liked working with me, much like with me for the film clip, because I have such a strong idea of what I want. And not to be inflexible and change and take ideas from them too, because it's very much throwing things to the wall and coming up, you know, with something creative so it can change on a different course, but definitely going in there with a very strong concept.
So the finished product always ends up a bit off as.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Good.
Every single time. So I would recommend to young artists going to record something, don't leave there disappointed, because a lot of the time you'll have a muse too of a song of one of your favourite artists or something. So you want something to be different because then it can be more unique and more you. So they do always come out a little bit different, and you're definitely better than I expected.
All right. What about... Yeah, sorry, how long do you think it would take, like, the whole writing process, like, from the start till the end?
It took us a day. Honestly, nearly every time
Wow.
that I've been proud of, we've gone in and finished by the afternoon and record the vocals the next day. So Primal in Your Kingdom, I was with the producer for 2 days. So first day was writing it. Like, I would be emailing leading up. Okay, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that, and send him some links and some ideas. But pen to paper, it was 1 day.
So you a lot of ideas that come through, and you just take them out, and then you just go for it. You just start writing, and it doesn't
Yeah.
take long for you.
No,
Is that right?
but again, it depends on the relationship with the producer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but honestly, the songs where I've gone back and forth and taken time to write, they haven't come out. I feel like perhaps it's better to do it all in one place, in one time, because you've got that passion there and
Yeah.
you're going away and coming back to it. It's not like writing a novel where you add to it.
Yeah.
You know, for me, but everyone's different. But
Yeah.
I find my favourite songs are written in the day.
Yeah.
But everyone's different. I mean,
Yeah.
there's probably some artists out there. Well, my masterpieces took weeks, but everybody's different, and perhaps pop music is very different.
Yeah.
So what do you think does 2007? What's the remainder of 2007 hold for you, Serena?
2007. Have you gone back a decade?
Yeah, just because I can. Hashtag. Like,
It's funny. Someone was talking about 2007 today. We're talking about iPod Nanos.
oh wow.
Um,
So 2017. What does 2017 hold for you?
Definitely getting back into live performances, into gigs, which I've been off for a little while. So I have a music partner, Richard Hughes, who I do cover gigs with.
Yep.
And we do like 4 hours. Been off for a little while. So I've got one, I'll share everything on Facebook so you see, but I've got one next month at Engadine Tavern. Spoke to Lady Oatley Hotel, that's coming up. Talking at Penshurst RSL as well. So there's a few things coming up that I'll put up,
Awesome.
but that's definitely, like that's the performance side of it, not the creative side, and I have missed that. That is a high, that a lot of creative outlet in recent times. I'm definitely dying to get back into that. So I'll put them up as soon as they're there if you can share them. And
That's part of, now that you're hashtag Monte famous, and it's a thing, you are now hashtag Monte famous. I will definitely be sharing dates that you're performing and stuff like that. I'm actually hoping dates in Sydney that you're performing.
you might be here. I've been thinking that because they've seen you with your few trips. So I'll tell you what, as soon as my dates are all locked in, I'll email you. And if you're here, you're here. And
Yeah.
you can come watch.
I will. Well, I'm there every week. It's just that I'm there on a Wednesday, Thursday, or on the
Yeah,
opposite
yeah.
nights, a Friday, Saturday. So
Yep.
it may mean that somewhere.
Well, I've got a few Saturday night and Sunday other ones coming out, so we'll see how we
Oh,
go.
that
I'll
works.
let you know. So I do mainly covers, but if you're going to be there, I'll throw in a few of my songs for you.
Oh, you know how to look after your fans, don't you? That's fantastic.
I may even buy you a drink. How about that?
Oh,
Even better.
it's all right. There'll be photos taken and then get plastered everywhere. That happens. So, to get your music, Serena, where can we get your music from?
All on iTunes. So if you type Sirena and then the song title, so you can find me on SoundCloud,
Yep.
YouTube, Facebook. Sirena is the stage name. If you can't find me, put Sirena Stephanie Bruno.
Yep.
I'll pop up. So the whole thing behind Sirena, I haven't even told you. In Italian, Sirena means mermaid. And when I was younger, I had a very big mermaid phase, which I'm probably still in. And I used to tell my dad when I was 14 that I was going to go change my name.
That's brilliant.
But I didn't, so I just made it my stage name. I
And
love it.
as a mermaid, are you attracted to the water? Do you love being in the water?
I am, but also because I'm Cancerian, which is a water sign.
Oh, yes.
And now I live in Cronulla near the water, so I'm getting closer and closer.
Oh,
to
wow.
my home state.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I spoke to an artist a couple of weeks ago, right into mermaids.
Really?
Yeah, she was right into
Creative
mermaids.
thing.
But
It's a creative thing.
and her name was her artist name's Merpie.
Oh, wow. So what's the pie across the
Vampire?
and magpie? Oh, vampire.
Yeah.
Love it, love
So
it.
it's a vampire mermaid. It's like, that's awesome.
Love it.
So tell us about Primal. Now, this was, as I said, I first stumbled across Primal when I was putting together my show, like
Yeah.
when it was first started, and I just fell in love with the song. And I was
Oh,
describing Primal to these guys, to Angus and before, and said it's a dark pop and it's strong and it's. I don't want to get too carried away, but it is. It's a real visceral, sensual song.
Visceral is a good descriptive word, is it? Yeah, I like that.
Well, that's how I took it as. So,
It is darker, isn't it? So if you listen very dancey and very poppy, and this is, I really want to go in a different direction, because when I listen to music, I only listen to pop music if I'm in the car or if I'm working out. When I want to be in a reflective kind of state, my favourite artists are Tori Amos, number one. I've seen all her Sydney shows. Stevie Nicks,
Yep.
Kate Bush, kind of in that state anyway, so I really wanted something that was, a bit darker, a bit something like that. And so Your Kingdom was very much about me and self-discovery and finding my true nature. And Primal was sort of, I'd gotten into my good state, was perfectly content and happy with who I was. Putting a call out for my partner, someone to share in my life who was, sort of equally as crazy as I am, if that makes sense. So it's really the whole Primal concept is about that primal urge. And, you can have a great life on your own, but I felt there was a little something missing, so there was a primal urge, obviously, within me to find that person.
Yeah, and I mean, in your kingdom, there's the line, you've got that line there, come and take your crown and sit upon your throne. And as it says,
and
you're the queen.
So the lyrics, purposely, because it was the same producer, we purposely tried to intertwine. So it went from me being on the throne to me talking about sharing that throne in Primal. So I don't have the lyrics of Primal in front of me. I should have brushed up on them before I got on here. But yeah, if you go through and listen to, actually, there's a lyric video. I could see the lyrics as they're listening to it. Yeah, but you definitely see the connection between the two.
And the actual song itself, as I said, it's visceral and very, very sensual. It is
sensual, yeah.
It is a song. I have a description for these kind of songs, and it's called Sticky Hot. It is a sticky hot.
Oh.
Now,
now I'm blushing.
Now, the description of the reason why I call it Sticky Hot, it is one of those songs that you can imagine going on in a dance club, but it's towards the end of the night, so you've been dancing on the dance floor with your partner. Nice, right? So it's been all night. You're both sweaty and sort of hot, and you haven't actually sort of gotten close to each other, but you're getting closer to each other now. And you can feel that heat and that moisture coming off each other as you're getting closer and about to kiss. And that would be the perfect song to do that to.
Thank you. And what is that feeling that they would feel? Like a primal instinct,
primal urge.
If I ever catch me writing a sappy love song, this ain't going to happen. So this is probably the closest that we'll get to. So for me, it was not about having, some lame romance. It was about finding your equivalent, the queen finding her king. Like that, in a very, very stripped back, raw, primal.
I like the fact that, as you just said, it's a real stripped back primal thing, and in the picture that you have for Primal, you're wearing a skeleton.
Yes.
A skeleton leotard.
Yeah, you're picking up on all my intent. I appreciate that. Well, the film clip, life goes a certain way, and the music video, because it's a bigger budget than I have at the moment, but the music video concept, like, when I was telling the producer, he's like, oh, you have to do this. So my whole concept, do you remember that pro art artist used to throw paint on the carpet?
Yeah.
So my whole concept was being in, much like in the Your Kingdom films, with that abandoned car, really like raw kind of floor, and me being in either a neutral or probably neutral coloured bodysuit, and like writhing around through, like throwing different colour paint and writhing through it, and then just grabbing it and just putting it all over my face like wall paint, like wall colours. Mm-hmm. So just very raw, and even me by myself in it, like the movement through that paint. And I would still like to do that perhaps one day soon. But
that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very messy, and if you didn't get the take right, it would be really hard to go back and do it again. But yeah, I'd really love to. It really would suit the song.
It would. That would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, do it when you can.
Yes, I do want to do that. Now that I've put it out there, I'll try to get anytime I forget. It's all right. People will forget.
You've been. that's awesome. Look, Sirena, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Like I said, I have fanboyed over this moment for a long, long time. And I am, even this week, it's sort of like I can't wait till Friday night to be able to talk to you and get the story from you firsthand about these three songs, because those three songs are songs that have stuck with me since I first started this show.
That's very flattering. That's very nice to hear. And it is nice to talk to find out the concept behind the song. I always like that with my favourite artists, listening where the song came from.
Well, it puts everything on a completely different level. Like you can... you still have its own meaning to you and that sort of stuff, but then you also understand the artist's reasoning behind the song and how it was created. And it can also connection with the artist and with the song as well. It's sort of like, well, this is what it means to me, this is what it meant to you, and you meld the two together and you come up with a hybrid of true emotion and feeling that music really does generate in most people.
It does. It really does. Very well put.
Oh, I have a way with words at times.
Hybrids a good one. I have to use that more.
But yeah, thank you so much, Serena, for like
Thank
all your
you,
time
baby.
and
These guys have got
Yeah,
massive
thank you
smiles
so
on their
much.
faces. I gotta-
Oh, they're lovely. No, I just told Bertie on the break she has to get my Facebook page off you and friend me so I can listen to their music.
Definitely.
And share some things. So, yeah. Do you guys ever around me, or is it just in your area?
just in our area, just in parks. But we're trying to start performing in Forbes, so
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
trying to
lovely.
get that going.
They're young and they're
Yeah,
you
only
know,
just starting.
just
so.
starting. So
Yeah, no, it's a perfect time.
they've got a lot of potential in front of them. I've seen them perform live. They were just fantastic. It's just like, oh. Well, yeah, you should blush. It's now their turn to blush. I've blushed. Serena's blushed. So it's your turn to blush, guys. No, again, thank you so much, and I really look forward to it. I can't wait to see you perform live. I'll make sure I get to at least one of those shows.
I will. I'll let you know. I look forward to meeting you in person. That would be lovely.
Yeah, and for everyone who's listening, Serena's Facebook page is shared on Uncharted Wednesday Night's Facebook page, so you can just go to that, click it, and that has links to all her music as well. Get in there and support her. Just fantastic. So thank you very much again.
You're
Thank you so
wonderful.
much, Serena.
Thank you,
you.
guys. Thank you, all of you. God bless. Talk soon.
This is Primal by Serena.